then, ladies and gentlemen, I told you I would come back and do the other endings, and here I am. I have come back and I'm going to do the other endings. The ending that I'm working on right now is apparently, according to a walkthrough, the easiest endings ever to get. There are two of them. They're the ones where Semyon ends up alone. One of them's good end, one of them's a bad end. And there are basically only 3 choices in the branch, so I don't have to play the entire game. I can just play from here. Doesn't matter what I did beforehand. All I have to do is stay seated. And Semyon's route begins. So, we're gonna do that, because that is the easiest thing to record right now. Okay. Try to find out what Alyssa and Lena are arguing about. Do nothing, just stay seated. I am gonna sit here. All I was doing was just watching the fire. There's a saying that claims that one could watch it forever, as well as running water. But there was also some third thing there. What was that? One could watch 3 things forever. Burning fire, running water, and how other people work. Yeah, the camp leader pulled me out of my daydreaming. My apologies. Semyon, don't you think it's a little too early to relax? What else would I need to do? I honestly couldn't get what Olga Dimitrievna wanted from me. I don't know. She stopped for a minute. But if there is something to be done, then do it without hesitation. She smiled ambiguously and went back to the fire to throw a few branches on. After those words, I am completely sure that she treats me like a personal slave. Or at least like I'm a free labor force, which is, strictly speaking, the same thing. I sighed and put my head down in my hands, hoping my torments would be over for today. Someone patted me on the shoulder. I looked up and saw Shurik and Electronic, who sat next to me. Hey, homies! I missed you guys. What do you want? I asked tiredly. Don't be sad! Is there anything better to do? Look, we've been discussing the possibilities for the advancement of the cybernetic... I remember getting tongue-tied like this. Okay. Look, we've been discussing the possibilities for the advancement of the Cybernetics Club with Olga Dimitrievna. So that's what you two were arguing about. And there was a problem. We need more guys. If you could... He hesitated. Advancement. Those guys are incompatible with each other. I said nothing and started to look over the pioneers around me instead. Well, I don't have time. Can't you see that I'm always busy with the camp leader's errands? Yeah, I guess you're right. It's kind of embarrassing how it all went with Eliana. I looked at him with surprise. It seems that Shurik blamed himself for that cake incident. Yeah, it is. All the pioneers seemed to be here, but I couldn't spot Slavia anywhere. I think she's angry with me. Who? I asked absent-mindedly. Oleana. Maybe I should apologize? No, it's not your fault. We sat silently for a while, and then I stood up and said, My legs are numb. I better take a walk. They made no reply. Bye, homies. I made a few circles around our improvised camp, noticing the close looks of the camp leader following me. Looks like Olga Dimitrievna couldn't wait to come up with some kind of new task for me. I haven't found Slavia anywhere. Maybe I should go and try to find her? On the other hand, I felt sorry for Oleana every time I recalled her upset face. Maybe this hike isn't the most entertaining thing ever, but sitting there all alone isn't any better either. But at the same time, I didn't want to go anywhere. Oh yeah, I have to remain seated. Like, do I have to remain seated? Wait, hold on. Let me look real quick. Yeah, I gotta remain seated. Nope. Okay. I have to remain seated. I guess that's good enough for me today. I sat in my previous place and waited for the end of the hike patiently, almost physically able to feel the looks of the camp leader aimed at me. At last she stood up and declared, "And now let's play cities." I had nothing against the game itself, but it was obvious that the hike will take longer because of it. I don't know what game this is, but it sounds awful. Pioneers sat around the fire. I noticed Lena and Alyssa, who took their places on a trunk opposite me. It seems that everything is alright. Just a few minutes ago I thought the opposite while looking at their quarrel. But anything is possible. I'd really like to know what they were talking about, but it's impossible now, and I could feel tiredness growing in me more and more. My mind was completely blank. To be precise, my head was so heavy that there was no place in it for ideas to unfold. While in my better times, my brain appeared to be a wide highway with millions of thoughts running by, chasing one another and causing major crashes. Now it was more like a footpath lost in the woods, which is used rarely and only in exceptional cases. Slavia didn't come back. Maybe she had something to do. But once again, there's no way to find out now. Okay, let's start. Let's go! Pioneers started to name cities. Finally, it was my turn. I tried to listen closely to catch the first letter of the city I'll have to use. Oh lord. I'm gonna mess this all up and all of you Russian viewers are gonna be mad, but it's okay. Archangel. Okay, that's an L. Okay. Archangel. Archangel. Just Google it. We played several rounds. Each new city name made it harder to remember everything that was mentioned before. My attention was dissipating, and I was already lost in all these capitals, megalopolises, villages, and urban settlements. Semyon! Semyon! It's your turn. Olga Dimitrievna brought me back to reality. Oh, excuse me, what was the last one? You're daydreaming again. It's Why me? Okay. It was Sevastopol. Okay, then I'll say London. Already used. Well then, it got me thinking. There were tons of cities in this world starting with L, but it was hard to remember even one of them now. Liverpool. Already there. Los Angeles. Ah! Finally! She gave me a scornful look, but the game went on. I could hardly bear to think of another city starting with L, but fortunately it was the last round. Ah, that's enough for today. It's already late. Time to go back. I sighed with relief. On our way back, we walked as we liked without joining in pairs. Night descended upon a camp. A perfectly regular and normal night. It was one of those nights when dark skies, stars, and even a crescent moon don't cause any special feelings, and the chirping of crickets and the songs of the night birds seem more like a routine. Work noises, more It was one of those nights when dark sky, stars, and even a crescent moon didn't cause any special feelings, and the chirping of crickets and the songs of the night birds seemed more like routine work noises than a nocturnal chorus. In a few minutes, all the pioneers were lining up in the square. It was quite late already, and fatigue took its toll, so our lineup wasn't perfectly aligned. It looked to me more like a line of Vikings after a successful battle where the warriors are happy and smiling, anticipating their return to their families, rather than thinking of maintaining correct formation. But someone also could possibly see a completely defeated troop, or a bunch of survivors who have to march to their homeland with the last of their strength. Thanks, everyone! And now go to sleep, it's late already. Pioneers quickly each ran their own ways, and I was left together with the camp leader. And we should go too. We went in complete silence to Olga Dimitrievna's cabin. Okay, let's sleep, she said, turning off the light. I was tossing and turning for quite a while, recalling all the events of the day. On the one hand, I was overcome with fatigue. On the other hand, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had forgotten something, done something wrong, said something wrong, and this feeling of incompleteness was tormenting me. It was about 2 a.m. All bad things would end sooner or later, or at least would take a break. I fell asleep. Day 6. Yeah, we're going for the bad ending, by the way. Like, for the first go-through. Next go-through, we'll go for the good ending. I don't know what time it was when Olga Dimitrievna woke me up, but even before opening my eyes, I felt the imminence of death. My whole body ached. I felt dizzy. My mind was clouded by haze. Semyon, wake up immediately or you'll miss breakfast, and more importantly, the lineup. Looks like the camp leader intends to exploit me to the fullest today, the same as any other day. I garbled something, covered my head with the blanket, and turned to the wall. In the end, Olga Dimitrievna's anger will never go beyond words. At least, I really wanted to believe so then. Stand up right now, or what? I was going to say triumphantly, but kept silent. Not because of fear, just because I felt too lazy to open my mouth. Really, what could she do to me? Lecture me at the lineup, hang my photo on the wall of shame, or use me for inhuman alien experiments? Well, I'm ready for that too. Just let me sleep a couple of hours. Okay, but if you miss the lineup, the duo slammed behind the camp leader, and the sleep which had me about to fade claimed my mind again. I woke up dazzled by sunlight. It was 1 p.m. according to my cell phone, which was squeezing the last drops of charge out of its battery. Strangely enough, my body didn't ache. My head felt clearer, and all in all, it was a good beginning to the day. After waving my arms, pretending to do early exercises, I sprang out of the cabin and headed to the washstands. Yeah, I slept through breakfast, but we'll be served lunch soon, so I shouldn't worry that I'll have to stay hungry like I did yesterday. Oh wow. Hello, Semyon. Along the way, I met a pioneer whose face somehow looked strangely familiar. Oh, that's not... But I was going so fast I couldn't really see him. And when I turned around, he was already gone around the corner. Twilight Zone. Okay. There was nobody near the washstands. Everyone is probably busy with Olga Dimitrievna's tasks, and God knows what else. I quickly brushed my teeth, washed my face, and was already going to leave when I suddenly heard the sound of water flowing from one of the opposite taps. A pioneer leaned against a washstand over there. I couldn't see his face, but judging by his figure, he looked like the one I saw a couple of minutes ago. Oh shit, he's hallucinating. You know who I am.